Welcome back, everybody. I have got yet another full house clean. I don't quite know how my house gets so out of control, given the fact that 2 of the adults in here work full time, 3 of the adults in here work full time actually, and Craig is at school most of the time. I think what it is we come home from work, school, wherever we are, and we just want to relax. Nobody actually wants to go around and do all those little jobs that, yes, we know we're supposed to do, but we just don't feel like doing. So you come in from work and you make yourself your tea, coffee, your dinner, you get changed into your jammies, and everything just sort of gets dumped and left. And that is, I think, how we're ending up in this mess each week. But who knows? Perhaps there are indeed a bunch of people living in my house while I'm at work that I have no idea of. They're using all our clothes, all our food, all our cutlery, everything. And I just haven't realised. I mean, it's possible. It's not completely out of the realms of possibility. After all, how many people have discovered that somebody has been living in their house without their knowledge, in the loft, in the walls, in the shed. Maybe not so much in the walls in the UK, as our walls are just sort of solid brick. But I know in America they do have crawl spaces, and I'm guessing some houses in the UK probably have crawl spaces also that somebody could live in. I doubt it though. Somehow I strongly doubt it, and I do believe it is us coming home from work and dumping our stuff and just ignoring the fact that we actually have to clean up. So it waits for my day off or my weekend off and I get it all done. This morning is a bit of a change around though. I am going to start downstairs. It's early hours of the morning. It's about 5:30. Dale has left for work. The kids are still asleep, which means I can get the floors done before anybody wakes up and decides they want to walk all over it, which is normally what happens. Now, we have had some builders around the house lately. They've been outside ripping off the rendering, replacing that, putting in new drainage bits and just all sorts of odd jobs around the house. Unfortunately, that means there is a lot of sand, dust and debris all over the garden. When we go out, when the dog goes out, when the cat goes out, it's getting walked back in. Now, we do have 2 big rugs by the door, or mats as they're called, and they are getting rid of some of the sand on the feet. However, it's not getting rid of everything. So literally the whole house has got sand and grit and dust everywhere. So I'm going to roll the mats up for now. I'm going to throw them out into the garden, and I am going to sort of pressure wash them and clean them off probably today, hopefully today, more likely tomorrow. With the amount I've got to do, it's more likely going to be tomorrow. But for now, they're going to be thrown outside, and I'm just going to give the floor a good sweeping and mopping before everybody gets up. I keep having to wipe the crummies off my feet. They're everywhere. I was going to wear like my flip-flops so I wouldn't feel the crummies on my feet. But then I thought if I do that, I won't know there's crummies on my feet, and I will just be walking the crummies all over the floor after I've swept it. So I decided to keep my flip-flops off and just put up with the icky feeling of bits of sand and grit on my feet. So at least I knew to brush them off and not march them around the rest of the house once I'd finished cleaning. So I am just going to use some really, really hot water and that cleaner I showed you just a minute ago. I need to get this floor super clean. Well, I don't need to, I want to. It's very heavily stained with tea, coffee and general years and years worth of usage. Now, I know that's going to require some bleach and probably a scrubbing brush. I have both. Unfortunately, that is going to wait for another day, another video, because right now, like I said, I need to get these floors mopped before everybody decides to get up. As soon as people start moving around, the dog gets more active, the cat's up and about out of Alyssa's room, and there are more feet and paws that could walk over my nice clean floors. Now, it is annoying when you've mopped your floors fresh and clean and somebody puts footprints all over them, but my concern more so is for the pets. Obviously, They lick their feet. We tend not to. But the pets do lick their feet, and if they walk on this and lick their feet, while it shouldn't cause them much of a problem, I've been using the same cleaner for years on my floors and it's never done the dog or the cats any harm. I'm still very mindful of it. Why take the risk? So I do shut the pets out, but of course when people are up, they're opening doors all the time and the pets can get through. So it's just nicer and better if I get up before everybody else, mop the floors, shut the doors and go and hide in my bedroom until they are dry. Also gives me a nice excuse to go and do some diamond art while I wait for the floors to dry. And who doesn't love a good excuse to do some diamond art, or whatever your hobby may be? Around the door area, you can see where the mat has been. That's just disgusting, isn't it? The mat sort of kept the floor nice and clean, and around it is just this gunge. But one thing I have noticed as well is that the rubber backing on the mats actually stains the floor. I'm not aware of any other mat that's ever done that, nor am I that good at getting them off. So definitely it's going to be a hands and knees scrubby with a bleach job, or even the pink stuff paste. That might work really well, and then my kitchen won't smell of bleach. I know there are people out there that love the smell of bleach and their house is not clean unless it smells like bleach. I am not one of those people. I detest the smell of bleach, of chlorine, of any of those sorts of chemicals. Here you can see the matte staining really bad on the floor. Our floors desperately need replacing. They are so old. They are worn through. Even when they are completely clean, like really clean, stains gone and everything, they still look tatty and dirty. And it's because the whole house is so old. We need a major injection of money to renovate the house and just get it looking its absolute best. And it's something I am working on, guys. Like I said in previous videos, there are going to be a lot more videos. I am getting the cash together to do each room one at a time. Unfortunately, it does take some saving, so you'll have to be patient with me and put up with me cleaning a house that looks a bit battered, a bit bruised and a bit worse for wear. Now you're going to see in just a sec how much sand is on this floor. You can already see what I've got from the kitchen. There is tons of it. I really need to get outside and clean up some of the dust and debris that the builders have left. I mean, they did clear up most of their mess, to be fair. They really did. They have done a super job. But we have two different sets of builders doing two different things. One cleaned up all their mess, the other just left the dust and debris for me to deal with. So I do have to get out there and do that. We've also got the patio that wasn't quite, it just didn't work. We built it, or Dell built it, and for some reason it just wasn't working. All the patio slabs were moving, so we've repurposed the patio slabs underneath my new shed. But now there is just this sand pit outside the back door that the dog keeps running through every time he goes out, despite me putting a table and chairs on it. He insists on running through it. Well, he could run round it. He could run round on the rest of the grass, the slab bits, the path. But no, he runs straight through the sand pit. So I need to get that covered to stop him dragging sand in. But for now, I'm just going to sweep up inside. That is a job for another day. So as you'll see, I'm not bothering actually cleaning stuff up just yet. Like I said, I want to get these floors done before everybody wakes up. So I have just taken all the bits that are on the floor and dumped them on the sofa, on the tables, just out of my way. I am not bothering with anything. The floor is my absolute priority at the minute. I'm desperately trying to get my brain to focus. One of the biggest issues I've got, and I have had for many years, but as I get older it seems to be getting worse, is that I cannot focus on one task. My brain will flip between tasks and I never complete a single task because my brain's like, ooh, do this. No, do that now. So as you can see, there is a lot of dust and debris, dog hair, sand, and just general rubbish. Now I am going to be putting the bins in different positions in the living room because what's tending to happen is we've got one bin in one corner. Now if you sit near it, it's nice and easy to throw your stuff into the bin. However, if you're sitting away from it, nobody can be bothered to get up and walk the 2 seconds it takes to get to the bin to throw your rubbish in the bin. So it just sort of ends up sitting on a table or on the sofa until it falls on the floor and then all gets swept in the pile. But look at that amount of sand. That's from outside. It's insane. I really need to get out there and do that. But like I say, that is a job for another day. I'll get round to it at some point, I am sure. Along with the windows, the weeding, just everything else I have to do out there. My life is so busy, so busy. One day I'll have everything running smooth and efficiently and I'll just be like, oh, wake up, pop, 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 done and off to work. But for now, I am like a salmon swimming upstream against the tide. It's hard work. It'll get there. It'll get there. And I'm looking at it now as like hard work develops character. And also, I want to lose a few pounds. I want to lose a good many pounds. And doing all this housework, all this gardening, all the work to earn the money to do up the house is helping me reach my goal of losing weight. So, you know, I can complain about the sheer amount of stuff I have to do every single day, but actually, it's to my benefit. Okay, so now the downstairs is drying. I can get upstairs and clean up there. Now I do ask the dog to move in a sec and he literally just shifts his bum about 3 inches, so I have to get him off the bed again. He does this big stretch, and I thought it'd be funny to take the mick out of him. But he clearly didn't enjoy it, because when I asked him for a kiss, he looked at me as if to say no. He begrudgingly gives me one in the end. But hey, there you go. It's fun to take the mick out of your dog occasionally. It doesn't hurt. As long as you're not being mean. Okay, let's move on from the dog. I need to get this room sorted. It used to be wooden floorboards, beige, and the purple roses on the bottom. Now, I hated the floorboards, absolutely detested them, and I loved the colour scheme. We went for a grey instead this time round, as you can see, and I do really, really like that. Unfortunately, the plaster on the walls is so awful. The paper doesn't hang on to it very long. You can also see through the paper, through the grey colour, where the plaster isn't holding onto the wall anymore, and it's gone all rippled and bumpy and horrible. We did rip all the skirting boards off because they were knackered, and we tried to replace them. That and the door framey bit. Unfortunately, because Dell and I are not plasterers, decorators or carpenters, as you can see behind me in that bottom left corner, we didn't finish sticking the skirting boards back on. They're actually stuffed behind the wardrobe. So this room is just not finished, and it's not looking polished. I want my rooms to look polished. Now, I'm not saying like Instagram ready or like Pinterest house. I'm not interested in that. I kind of am in a little bit, but I don't want my house to be looking like an unlived in show home. I want it to be like a home for myself and Dell. I'm just checking out the mattress there, don't mind me. I noticed that it felt different in the middle where we sleep, but on the very edges where we don't spend a lot of time, it felt different. So I was just checking out the two sort of textures and firmnesses of the beds. So yeah, that was what I was doing there. Anyway, back to what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that was it. I don't want my house particularly looking like Pinterest, Instagram-y ready type house. I want it to look like we live here. So I want stuff that we're interested in seeing and having a little bit of us on display all the time, like Dell's toy cars. I want him to have those out on display, the ones that are important to him. I want to have my diamond art on the walls. I'm not interested in following the colour patterns that are in keeping with the current trends. I want colours that I and my family like. I want decor that I and my family like. And if that clashes and jars and doesn't quite blend and gel, then that just has to be the way it's going to be. But I do want my house to look polished. And having purple wallpaper that gets into the arch, but then because we run out the archway is grey, is not polished. Having unfinished skirting boards is not polished. Having a carpet that wasn't fit by carpet fitters, so it doesn't quite sit flat on the floor, it's all ruched up, is not polished. And having like dented chunks of paint missing off of things is not polished. That's not what I want. So I will be, for each room, saving up the money to have it done properly. Now that does mean, guys, that you are going to have a big wait between those videos. It's just going to have to be the way it's going to be. I am going to keep posting videos between, but those overhaul decor videos and that sort of thing, there is going to be a big wait between them because I need to get the funding together to be able to afford to do each room properly to the max, make it look exactly like I want, and have all the paint finished perfectly and all that sort of jazz. So please, please, please do bear with me. I am getting around to it. I promise you I am doing it. I'm saving loads of money to do it perfectly. And that's what I want. A house that looks like my home but is finished properly instead of just half a job. Okay, so I just wanted to make a quick note here while you can see poor Woody scratching himself to pieces. I have posted a video about, doing battle with the fleas, and we have been quite successful in that battle. Now, obviously, the fleas do reappear. That's just what happens this time of year. You're never rid of them for long. But Woody is being defleed regularly. I mean, like at some points daily, to try and keep on top of them. Now, the medication we have got for him, he can use daily. I am going to get him to the vets to get a stronger one that lasts longer between administrations of the medication. But he is being defleed regularly. Unfortunately, what Woody is also suffering from, though, is like seasonal allergies. So where he's tearing through the long grass, he's getting covered in pollen and he's getting micro tears from the grass. So he is getting very itchy and sore. Now we are combating that long grass. It is being cut down as we speak. But it does mean at the moment that poor Woody is extremely itchy from not only the odd flea bite, maybe mosquito or even horsefly bite. I mean, this time of year they're out and about. But he's also got those seasonal allergies going on. Now, I just wanted to put everyone's mind at ease that he is being defleed and he is being given antihistamines to treat that itch. But, of course, between doses, as you know yourself if you take antihistamines, between the last dose you took wearing off and the next dose starting, you're always going to get a little bit itchy again. And that's just what's happening here with Woody. He's just about getting ready for his next dose of that antihistamine. So I hope that's put all your minds at ease. I know some of you get very concerned about the pets and seeing Woody itch quite a lot. So I just wanted to add that in there and make sure that you knew he was being loved and looked after. He was just getting a little bit itchy, waiting for his next dose of his medication. I've pulled everything up off the floor, or as much as I can off the floor, because one of the best ways to stay on top of little fleas is to make sure you are thoroughly vacuuming every single day. Now, obviously, this hulking great big wardrobe is not going to be pulled out every single day so I can hoover underneath it. I'm sorry, it's just not. But what I might do is when I've got Dell with me, I may pull it out and put some salt underneath it, so any fleas that do happen to get under there are just going to perish in the salt. Or I may put a little salt border around it that I can sort of hoover up and freshen every couple of days to stop the fleas either getting out from underneath there or getting under there. Because they will get under there. Those creatures are, well, they're nothing if not resourceful. Okay, you may have noticed that I'm taking the bin bags out of the bins, but I'm not putting any back in. Why is that, you may ask? Well, let me tell you, those inquiring minds. I'm going to tell you even if you're inquiring or not. I am taking the bin bags out but not replacing them because I am doing what I would call a thorough clean. Now, in my life, there are tidies, there are cleans, there are thorough cleans, and then there are the seasonal deep cleans, or those spring type cleans. Now, I do them every 3 months, so throughout the seasons. But today, because the house was in such a state, I want to do a thorough clean. To me, tidying up is just sort of putting all that surface clutter away so everything looks tidy. Then there is a clean. Cleaning is tidying away, emptying your bins, and like giving a quick dust of the surfaces. It's a surface clean. Then there are the thorough cleans. Now, a thorough clean to me is anything that gets dirty regularly. So a thorough clean would include cleaning out the bins, perhaps pulling the sofa cushions off and hoovering under them, and, you know, just going a little bit deeper into things, moving the smaller items of furniture as I just have done, and just that sort of thing. Whereas the deep cleans, the seasonal cleans, during those, I am going to be pulling out every single item of furniture. I'm going to be laundering the curtains, washing the windows, aquavacing the carpets or shampooing the carpets, shampooing the mattresses. Literally everything in the room is going to get scrubbed, cleaned, touched at some point during that deep clean. So there is the difference between my cleaning levels. Now our dumping ground room. This room is atrocious. Alyssa has brought her Henry Hoover home from work, a cleaning caddy home from work. There is stuff dumped all over the table, including clean laundry. Then there's clean laundry on the ironing board. Alyssa has dragged all this rubbish out of her car. It's just insane. And she's just dumped it down here for me to deal with. It's that bad you can't even walk around the table. I have no idea what's the far side of the table. You literally can't get to it. I've got Dad's unit I need to put in the bathroom. He brought that for me, or brought that down for me. Oh, can I squeeze? Yeah, I can squeeze round the Hoover. There you go. Let's see what's this side of the table. Yeah, you can't even get round it. There's just junk everywhere. So I'm going to time lapse it because this room literally took me hours to get through. The ironing alone, I think, took me an hour. Then I had to clean the rest of it. It was just insane. This room is a dumping ground, and people have suggested perhaps we just turn it into like a walk-through room. We had it as a walk-through room before, and it was just like the dog room. It didn't work. It was just this, again, a room just for dumping stuff, and it looked sad, lonely, and really angry. So I'm going to leave the table in here. But I am going to change what I do in here. I'm going to set the table, and hopefully that will stop people dumping stuff on the table. I actually scratched that. When it was in the other room, which is now the living room, I had the table set most of the time and people just dumped stuff on it still. Anyway, there must be a way to fix it. I'm going to look for solutions, and I will find some. But for now, let's get this laundry upstairs and out of the blooming way. 4 trips to get all the laundry upstairs. Still, at least I got my steps in, eh? Make that 6 trips to get everything upstairs, because I have to take Alyssa's Hoover up now and then her cleaning caddy. So that's 4 for the laundry and 2 just to get the bits that belong upstairs. 7. The total amount of trips upstairs for this room was 7. 4 for the laundry and 3 for Alyssa's stuff that's just been dumped in the dining room. No, I mean, I know it's not just Alyssa's stuff that's been dumped in the dining room, but when we're just adding it to the total of times I've had to run up and down the stairs to put things that belong upstairs up there, it is 7 flaming trips in total. That is a lot of steps. Do anyone else's coat hangers act like Christmas tree lights? Like, no matter how neatly you put them together or where you place them, they tie themselves in this great big knot. You pick one up and the rest scatter all over the damn place. You can't keep hold of them all. I'm genuinely wondering, is it just me or does this happen to everybody's coat hangers? Please let me know. I'm interested. Yeah, see, it's not just everybody else's mess. Those spoons were mine. I had them in my bag at work and cleared my bag out, left them on the table. See, I'm just as bad as everybody else, but I'm the one who cleans up the mess, so I get to be. Oh, I've got to hulk this massive display cabinet back into the corner. I hate these units. I love the bookshelf. It fits perfectly. But this unit I'm hulking back into the corner is too big to fit nicely in the alcove. It's so dark as well. It just darkens down the whole corner and just doesn't look nice. Now, I did put some shelves in. I wanted like a really light wood effect shelf, but I couldn't find them, so I've gone for the black instead. But what I am going to do is yawn. Sorry. I bet you're all yawning at home now, aren't you? What I am going to do is get some lights for those shelves so they don't look so dark all the time. And I'm going to get a white bookcase for underneath. I may also get like white sticky back plastic stuff to go on the shelves to make them all white. Or I may just get a black bookcase and put the lights in that. I'm not sure yet. I really don't know which I want to do. I like the black, to be fair. So I may just go black with the lights. Who knows? This poor kit car. It's sat there since Dell finished building it. It was his pride and joy. He loves showing it to people when they come round. He plugs it in and it all lights up and twinkles and it says things in the actual voice like the Knight Rider car. But the case is dirty inside. It's got a bit scratched up where it's been sat just on the table and people have dumped things around it. We really need to get the brackets for it so it can go up on its own shelf and be happy out the way. But I'm going to polish it for now, just give it a good dust off, make it look pretty again for him. Put the case back together nicely and slide it to the middle of the table. Hopefully it'll be a bit more protected there until we can get those shelving brackets for it and get it up out of the way so it can be seen but not get damaged anymore. I love that he's proud of this and he'd spent so long building it. And it is a really cool piece of kit, but I want it up out of the way so he can see it and enjoy it, and so can everybody else. And when people come round, they can see it and enjoy it too. But it's not in the way, it's not getting damaged. I did film me putting the case back together, but it took so flipping long because I couldn't work out how to get it back together that I ended up deleting the footage. Otherwise, you'd have been here forever watching me try and figure it out. While cleaning this unit, I love this unit, I want to get one for the other side as well, but while cleaning this unit, I did notice just how many cobwebs there were in this room. I mean, there were hundreds flipping everywhere, great big dust collecting cobwebs. I wish you could see them. Even if I zoomed in, you can't see them on camera. I've checked, but they are there, they are everywhere. Oh, you can just see one there. There, did you see it? Just looks like a scuff on the wall. That's not a scuff. Yeah, there you go. It's a big, ugly cobweb. I need to get better at housework. I really think I need some sort of routine. But then I think to myself, I've tried routines. I've tried the Fly Lady routine. I've tried is it the Minimal Mum routine? I've tried loads of routines. I can't stick to them. My brain finds them dull and boring. I want them so I can stay on top of all the cleaning and the prettiness and but then my brain goes, no, I don't want to do the same thing every day. I swear, my brain is like living with two people. There are two people in my head. One that wants to do everything every day and just be on top of her game and fantastic. And then the other me is just this incredible lazy sloth who just wants to lay in bed all day, eat junk food and watch like shows, like her favourite shows. And literally every single day what you get is a little bit of both of me. I don't know. Is there something wrong with my brain, perhaps? I was considering going to the GP and maybe getting checked for like ADHD or something. Or, I mean, there is bipolar disorder in my family, so there's a possibility of that going on there. But I don't know. Every time I think about going to get checked, my brain goes, nah, it'll be fine. And I don't bother. And then the next morning I wake up and my brain goes, well, you should have booked in at the doctor's, shouldn't you? I'm like, literally, brain, you told me not to bother. And now here you are sitting in my head telling me that I should have booked an appointment at the doctor's. I swear, dusting Dell's cars takes forever. He has so many little toy cars, and then you have to arrange them so you can see the ones at the back and the ones at the front, and yeah, they're just a nightmare. I really want to get him like a bespoke shelving unit. So like in the big square where I'm putting all his toy cars now, there's a lot of space above them that's empty. But you know those drawer dividers you can get that you put in like your sock drawer, and each pair of socks has its own little square. I want something like that for this unit, so it could go at the back and he can have each toy car in each square. And then even maybe put like a little plastic or acrylic cover on that so that the dust can't get in. So they can look pretty, they can be lit up, they can be fully on display, and I don't have to dust them. To be fair, I don't dust them that regularly. I do try and dust them, but they're a pain in the arse to dust. And no one really cares whether they're dusted or not. So I don't do them that often. Well, I'm not entirely satisfied with this camera angle. I have to clean stuff at hip height, and I want to show you guys, but that does mean you're going to have to see my pudgy belly and my pudgy booty. I suppose some of you don't mind, some of you do. Anyway, we're going to focus on the cleaning and not my rear end. These little units are full of like little wispy cobwebs. They're driving me nuts. Every time I sit down at night, I can see them just sort of glinting away and catching the light. So we are going to get rid of them today. Plus, I don't like the thought of wild spiders being so close to the tarantulas. Obviously, I'm pretty sure in an attack, my tarantulas are going to fare better because they're bigger. But you never know. You know, sometimes the little ones do better because they could get under the bigger ones. They also could bring mites in and other problems with them. So I want to make sure that... body kisses. I want to make sure there aren't any roaming around too close to the actual pets we're keeping. At the end of the day, I know some of you guys don't like them and would prefer I didn't keep them, but this is my house and I will keep the pets I'm happiest with. And they are my babies, they are my pets, and I don't want random, wild spiders getting into them and potentially unaliving them or introducing like parasites and infections and goodness knows what else to them. Plus, another plus, I must admit that even though I do keep tarantulas, I am not a fan of spiders. I detest them. I very much don't like them when they're running loose and wild. I don't want them on me. I don't like the way they feel. The reason I've got the two I've got at the minute is because A, they're in tanks, but B, I think they look quite pretty. I want to keep pretty things. Sorry, there was just a very loud noise then. I don't know where it came from or what it was, and it startled me. Anyway, on with the show. I want to keep pretty things, and I find that the tarantulas I've got extraordinarily interesting. But they stay in their tanks. We do not hold them. They cannot escape the tanks they're in. The tank that Decca escaped was a different one to the one she's in now. So they can't escape the tanks. We don't hold them. They don't scurry around the house to sort of suddenly shoot out from underneath the sofa onto your foot or descend from the ceiling onto your head. They are safe, they're contained, I know where they are, and they're interesting to watch when you know where they are. I am not a big fan of wild spiders running about the shop, so I join you in your arachnophobia. Mine is just a tad milder than some people's. But there you go, I bet that's something you didn't know. A tarantula keeper that's actually a little bit scared of the spiders. I kind of feel like, though, that's another one of those contradictions. You know, I said earlier that I feel like I'm like a walking contradiction, like there's two people in my head. There's one who likes everything really clean, neat and in its place, and I actually want the Pinterest Instagram house. And then there's another version of me that says, nah, stuff it, I don't. The other version of me dislikes spiders, yet one version of me wants to keep them as pets. Okay, here I'm looking for my duster. This is why I'm randomly stood there sort of waving one hand. If I do the motion of what I'm looking for, I find it helps me remember what I'm looking for. So, like, if I'm looking for the duster like I will make the hand gesture of me dusting. This keeps it in my brain that what I'm actually looking for is my duster. If I am looking for my polish, I will make the gesture like spraying the polish. If I'm looking for my hairbrush, I'll walk round the house like mimicking like I'm brushing my hair. It just helps keep my brain on focus, on target. Does anyone else do that, or am I literally just crazy? Part of my seasonal clean is going to be to clear out this cupboard. Again, it gets so full of junk so quickly, and I want it as practical storage. Mind you, I suppose putting your junk in a cupboard is practical storage, you know? It's stuff we want to keep, or Dell wants to keep, and it gets shut behind those doors. I just want to clear it out, and I want everything to have a space. So during my deep clean, my autumnal deep clean, which should be coming very soon, it needs to be up in September, because for me, September, October, November are autumn. December, January, February are winter. March, April, May is spring. June, July, August is summer. And then back to September, October, November. So I'm going to get a deep clean done for autumn. So guys, make sure you are watching out for that. That will be coming, Wow, in like 6 weeks. It's going to be 6 weeks before it's autumn again. 6 weeks before the pumpkins come out. It's exciting. I kind of like autumn. It's my favourite time of year. It's still warm, but the nights are drawing in, so you get to snuggle down in the evening and watch stuff while it's dark. You get all those lights on. I do love ambient light. I think autumn's got to be the best time of year. It's still warm, but it's getting dark. It's getting cosy. Winter's just too cold. Spring, again, spring's very... and summer's just too darn hot. So, yeah, I'm going to celebrate autumn, hopefully really big this year. So, please keep watching. Yeah, I just wanted to draw your attention to the fact the kitchen bins are indeed still in the living room. That is because, like I said, I'm going to do a deep clean of all the bins. Realistically, I do this during a thorough clean. Obviously, during a tidy, they don't get touched. During a regular clean, I empty them. During a thorough clean, they get rinsed out. And during the autumnal cleans, or the seasonal cleans, I should say, they get a really good clean out. They may even get replaced, actually, because they're a bit battered this year. But who knows? So, yeah, as I am on a thorough clean, I will be cleaning the bins out. And that's why they're still in my living room. And they're going to get thoroughly cleaned before I put them back in the kitchen. In a weird little way, I wish I'd kept each bin bag of rubbish I threw out, because I like to see it. It's such a weird thing for me. I like to see how much rubbish I've cleared from the house, how much laundry I've got, how much washing up I've got after I've cleared down. But I just wanted to get it done today. I just wanted to get it all thrown out. I think in total I had 3 bin bags of rubbish. The one that was already in the kitchen bin, one I collected from all the other bins in the house, and the third one just with bits that I picked up generally around the house. So I think it was 3 bins. I cannot think how many wash loads I had to get through. Somewhere in the region of 10, possibly 15. I really don't know. It doesn't help that my washing machine, say that again. It doesn't help that my washing machine doesn't take a big load. I used to have a machine that was 9 kilos and it had add wash. So if I forgot to put a sock in or something, I could just pop the door open and throw it in. This machine, I think, only does between 5 and 7 kilos, depending on what cycle you put it on. And obviously, my massive bath sheets, I cannot really put 2 in together. I do, and I just turn the spin down really, really low. So if you're ever watching one of my videos and you can hear in the background this clitink, 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 clunk, clunk sort of noise, it's because I've put 2 bath sheets into my washing machine and it's trying to turn the load. Yes, I'm aware I'm probably going to break my washing machine. Although it does cope with them, it's the spinning it can't do. It cannot spin 2 bath towels. Anyway, it's enough about my bath towels and laundry. I do like to keep it all at the end so you guys can see just how much I've thrown out, collected round. But I never show it, and I think it's more just for my own personal gratification than it is for anybody else's. So for those of you that can see baby cat in the bottom right corner of your screens, you'll notice, oh, she's gone again, that she's wearing like a big tutu around her neck. There she is, going on the left. Why is she wearing that great big tutu? Well, baby cat is absolutely amazing at catching birds, and I mean like elite at it. She's fantastic. But I don't like that. I don't like her dragging in birds and injuring them and stuff like that. I know it's completely natural for her to do it, but I still do not enjoy hearing it or seeing it. So we got her that pink tutu, or rather I should say Alyssa got her that pink tutu thing to wear around her neck. And it acts as like an extra visual deterrent for the birds. Now I have to say it is working so well. Touch wood, since she's got it, she doesn't bring any more birds home. We haven't had one. Oh no, she's brought mice in. She likes to bring the odd mouse in, which is fine. She brings them in alive. We catch them in a humane mouse trap and set them free again. So there's no harm, no foul there. They just get a bit like, oh my goodness, what's happened? And then they get released back outside. So they are happy, healthy, and they've actually lived for a good couple of days inside before we've caught them sometimes. So I know that they aren't suffering any ill effects from being caught. So yeah, it's reduced the wildlife mortality rate quite a bit having that pink tutu on her neck. Okay, so here I get a little bit distracted again. I am trying to figure out the best way to make this house work for all of us so it runs more efficiently. At the moment I am just supposed to be cleaning, but I'm losing time stood here staring at extension cables, wondering how best to get them to reach the distance to the far end of the 3-seater sofa from the corner where the lamp is here. That's the only plug socket we've got over this side of the room. And obviously, if you're sitting on the end of the 3-seater sofa and you need to plug your phone into the charge, or I want a lamp there, it's going to be a bit of a ball ache because there's no power source there. But I didn't want to plug an extension lead into an extension lead because that's dangerous. And also in this corner, I've got my lamp plugged into one socket and my phone charger plugged into another socket. My thinking is I really want 2 extension leads running from that socket there in the corner to the far end of the 3-seater and the far end of this 2-seater that I'm kneeling on now. But that takes up both of the sockets. I don't want to do that because obviously then there's no power next to the sockets. So I can't win. At either end of my sofa I'm going to have no power. And I lost a great deal of minutes stood there trying to figure out how best to get power to both ends of the sofa. So it's a little more convenient. Now my spray polish has packed up, but that's not squirting very well. So yep, I did add a ton of polish to this shelf here. Just trying to get it to work again. I don't know why, it was still squirting out some, but it just wasn't working perfectly. So if there's any solutions you guys can come up with to how I can have power at both ends of my sofa, I'd be really interested to know. So I need 2 extension leads to get power to the far ends of the sofa, but I also need sockets available at the near ends of the sofa so I can have power at both ends. So I put my towels in the tumble dryer because I like soft fluffy towels. I switch it on, turn it on, everything's running fine. I go outside to put my sheets on the line because they turn into a ball in the dryer and I'd rather dry them on the line. So I pop them out on the line, I come back into the kitchen and I can smell a burning plastic smell. The tumble dryer is no longer working. So I, turn it off, turn it back on again, see what's going on. I check the plug, I come around here, I check my plug. Bad things are happening. Oh, that's the socket. The worst bit of it is it didn't trip the RCD, so we've now got an emergency electrician on his way out. This was truly, truly terrifying. The electrician said that the reason the RCD didn't trip was because to trip the RCD, the earth and the neutral have to arc together. That would have tripped the RCD. As that didn't happen, it didn't go. The fuse didn't blow on the plug. I have no idea why the fuse didn't blow, but at the end of the day, that plug was melting through. Apparently, according to the electrician, this is how appliance fires and house fires start quite often. Unless they arc, you won't get the RCD blow, so the electricity keeps flowing through, melting the wires and the plugs, and if they're next to obviously like wooden things or anything combustible, woof, up goes the house or the appliance. And it is truly, truly terrifying. If I hadn't have been here, Craig would have been here on his own, and yeah, the kitchen could have burnt down, the house could have burnt down, and he would have been here on his own. He is 17, so he is more than capable of being left in the house on his own. But it still frightens me that he could have been on his own in the house when that happened. Now, why am I not concerned that Alyssa could be in the house on her own? Well, because that girl is never home. She comes home for all of 5 minutes and is gone again. The only time she is actually here is when we are all here as well, in bed, asleep. And do you know what? Sometimes she even stays out either over her boyfriends or at her mates or wherever it is she goes. So yeah, I'm not overly concerned. She would have been in the house on her own because, well, she's never really in the house, much less here on her own. But yeah, that was truly terrifying and left me feeling sick, queasy, shaky. My nose and throat and eyes were burning. I had a banging headache afterwards. The fumes from a melting plug are not great to breathe in, and the electrician has said my kitchen is going to stink for a very long time after this event. He said it gets in everything and you'll be able to smell it for days. So there you go. A truly terrifying event. I can't believe it. It's made me frightened to get another tumble dryer. I will get another tumble dryer because come winter I won't have any choice. How on earth do people dry things without a tumble dryer? And like I said, I like soft fluffy towels. I could dry things on the radiator, but then that just increases the risk of mould and damp, and I don't want that. So I will get another one, but it will be only for use when an adult is in the house, and I will be turning off between uses because a lot of the time with things, they're just left on standby. I don't think I'm going to be leaving much on standby anymore. So that is the tumble dryer almost house fire story over and done with. Let's move on, get this washing up done and the kitchen cleaned. There will be a kitchen deep clean happening. The kitchen really could use a deep clean really badly, and things need moving about now that tumble dryer's broke. So yeah, there will be a kitchen deep clean happening. I'm really looking forward to getting this cooker outed. The top of it becomes a dumping zone because it's such a big part of the kitchen. I mean, you've seen the amount of work surface we've got to play with. It isn't a lot. So this top of the cooker becomes a dumping zone for everything. And it ends up scratched and like with bits of food on it that gets burnt on and stinks the kitchen out. I want a small cooker. We only use one side of this cooker anyway. I know Dell loves it, or he did when it was new and clean and shiny. It's now a bit dented, dinked and not so shiny. We do need a smaller cooker in here. But then, like the tumble dryer or a dishwasher, the fridge, whatever could... Well, no, not the fridge. It'd have to be the tumble dryer. You can't put your fridge next to an oven. It causes problems. But either way, we could have a small oven up the top here and then one of the appliances up next to it, which would mean we wouldn't have to have an appliance on the countertop and we could get our counter space back. But I need to convince Dell to try and sell this on eBay or get rid of it somehow. It's a nightmare to pull out, like when it was installed, because it literally fits the gap all the way down of the kitchen. To slide it into place, we had the installation blokes literally climbing all over the countertops to get like either side of it to be able to pull it in because they couldn't stand down the sides. So one was like crawling along the countertops to help slide it in while the other one sort of pushed and pulled from the front and the sides. It was hilarious to watch. So God knows how we're going to get it out. I think we're just going to have to pull it, and then I don't even know how they got it in the front door actually, or the back door I should say. It's wider than the back door. I really don't know how they got it in. Perhaps we'll just get professionals back to shift it again. The bathroom is the last room on this mammoth house clean. I literally ran out of time. I started at like 5:30 in the morning and it's now approaching 4:30, 5:30 by the time I actually get finished. I do go back and remake the bed. I didn't get around to hoovering, so that's a job for another day. The plug in the bathroom is actually draining really slowly, so once I clean the bath, I have to put the cleaner down the drain to unclog that. I do clean the toilet, so later you'll see me just put the Harpic down it. I did actually clean the toilet first, but for some reason didn't switch the camera on because I'm a darn fool. I thought I had and I hadn't, so you don't get to see the end result of the plug being cleaned out. Although I'm pretty sure you all know what an unclogged drain looks like. Just flows like a normal drain. And yeah, like I said, I didn't clean the toilet. I do actually clean it. Take my word for it. I do clean it. You just don't get to see it. But you know what that looks like. You've seen me do it before, and I'm sure you've all done your own. I wish there was like a nice neat end to this video, but like I say, I ran out of time. My camera was dying. It was late. I was tired. I didn't feel well after the small almost fire earlier. So I just got the bathroom clean. I made the bed. We had dinner and then that was it. I went to bed. It was in the middle of the night when I came down for a wee. I hadn't put this in the bin yet that I realised that's kitchen gel, not bathroom gel. It's meant to unclog kitchen sinks, not bathroom sinks. Still, it did the job, so I don't suppose it really matters. If I am using cleaners like this, I will leave the bottle next to what I'm cleaning so people know not to put anything down the drain until I've emptied it out. And that's it from me today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I have got so much done, but I am absolutely exhausted now. Like I say, I've made the bed, I've had my dinner, and I'm going to go to sleep after setting this video to upload. Ready for you guys. Hopefully it should be ready in the morning and it should automatically upload for you all. But I will see you all again in the next video really soon. Bye for now.